opening damage by Sparks, and now Weird, now he's really on the run. He's gonna be able to grab this 50 to get him up to full health, but quite frankly, he's really hurting for armor. And this is what I mean, where had he not delayed that pickup, had he not delayed the pickup of that yellow for so long, I think we would have seen, uh-oh. Really? A grenade? Grenade Spark this week?
The lone grenade.
Wow.
Makes it in Spark's favor. Wow. With just under 2 minutes left to go, Sparks makes this a 3-2 game. And if Weird keeps playing in kind of the cautious manner that he has been, this is going to be not enough time for him to make this frag once again, because for all that time that Weird was in control, he only netted 2 frags out of that. So Sparks gets the quick 1-2. And now we have 1 minute left. And so if Weird can change his pace, go a little bit more balls out, something could happen. That grenade just, I thought it disappeared. But anywho, if Sparks could just keep this going the way it is, this is going to go to Sparks. And I was not expecting that whatsoever.
And he will secure that crown. And honestly, well played match by both players. I think that Weird's recovery was just a little bit more difficult, and he, I think maybe he was anticipating Sparks going to the back side of the map, like I was saying, Sparks should have gone to the back side of the map, and instead we saw both of those yellow armors stay up for far too long, and since they weren't in Weird's arsenal, it really cost them when the two players finally met. So this thing will remain 5-2 at the buzzer. Sparks gaining the first crown. And Fishsticks, can you repeat that lineup, please, for me?
Well, just talking to people in IRC, trying to get a general sense, I think Facebreaker would be up next.
Okay, alrighty.
And Fish, I think you left your keys in the dryer.
That, and post it in the chat here before the next map, so people know who to expect to.
Okay.
Now, T4, I have to say it's got to be one of the most unforgiving maps in Quake Live, because I've seen maps that have been just overwhelmingly, one-sided, but then again, if both players are just about equally competent with that rail, you can just see amazing comebacks, see some awesome overtime, and just some really just nail-biting play coming out of this map. So this is a map where it's either going to be a steamroller or it's going to be a nail-biter the whole way through. But more often than not, I see these nail-biters happen, and I love that.
I think that the longer that we go, Sparks will become more and more warmed up. Hopefully he won't break a fever.
Or start winking.
Yeah. Alright, here we go.
More like a goblin than an oink.
I'm more practiced with a goblin than I am with pigs, obviously. But here we go live on T4, Facebreaker versus Sparks. Takes away Grease.
Well, and Sparks is going to get the upper yellow and immediately eat a rail to the face. And that's going to give Facebreaker a rail and mega start. And now he's got armor. That rail was really important. The reason why is because it pushed Sparks away and had him kind of double back, and that opened up a chance to get that delayed yellow pickup. And so that's going to give a nice lead here to Facebreaker, because he's going to show up in time for this yellow, and he's already done damage, so he doesn't really mind giving it up to Sparks, because right now he's landed 2 rails, and now not being here for this one, not going to matter, because the way he did it, he just played defensively. He just played defensively for every single item pickup, and Sparks is just scratching his head, going like, yeah. Apparently Sparks is not a fan of T4. Maybe.
This is a map you're either going to love or you're going to hate, 100%. There's no middle ground with this map.
But see, okay, but let me take you back a little bit here. Maddox?
Ooh.
Remember this? 8 frags? 2 minutes? Yeah. I mean, this map is all about high scores. It's not a problem. And,
never forget. Never forget.
Well,
so is Airwalk, but we've seen ties on Airwalk before.
Besides, Sparks has already pulled this thing within 1. Yeah. So hopefully he won't QQ anymore. Now, we've said it many times, but we're going to repeat it again just in case anyone's new. This map Armor is kind of important, but a little bit more important, I would say, is health management, because there is a mere, let's see, there's 100 health inside the column, Great Rail by Facebreaker, and then a pair of 25s just below this yellow armor that Facebreaker just picked up. He's going to drop in on them now. So, with such low health on the map, that means that a lot of time, well, of course the mega health, but on a regular basis, with such few health spheres to pick up, you're really in a bad way if you don't keep track of and make use of that health as if it were an armor resource. In other words, you want to be denying your opponent that health, and a lot of times whenever you get a frag, you can use the fact that you have, you know, like what the person on the recovery can use the fact that you're going to need that health to predict where you're going to go and try to convert it back to their favor. So that hasn't happened in this case. Sparks is about to die again. Facebreaker is going to come in, and he heard the teleporter, and so he's looking for a shotgun shot. And you can see that Facebreaker recovers his health, because that's the place to be. Sparks at this point just sort of shoving his face into the wrong end of, well, a lot of railguns, Jahar.
Yep. And, you know, for a map that, it's not an unbalanced map, it's just a map that, as I said, is very unforgiving. If your opponent has a steamroll, he's just gonna just lay it on you, and we're just seeing that time and time again here. But really, maps like this, if you're the down player, all you really need to do is just get smarter. So all I could say to somebody who lets someone get a score like, you know, 10-2 on you, there's something you gotta change, because, you know, there are ways to recover, but if you're really just locked into the way that other maps play and you're not able to adapt to, you know, a map that's so rail heavy like this, it's gonna hurt. And we know that Sparks is proficient with the rail, so something here's gotta change.
Well, and the other piece of it is, you know, I imagine, you know, with Sparks being sick, he may not be at the top of his game right now. And Facebreaker is extremely practiced on this map. And there's really absolutely no question as to why he picked T4. I think his next map, assuming that he does take the crown, will be a bit more challenging for him.
Yeah, and I gotta say now, Sparks knows what it feels like when he calls turning 9 on someone, you know?
Yeah.
Not 9, 7, sorry.
Yeah, 7. Furious Heights is what you meant. Sorry.
Right.
But, you know, it's kind of entertaining to see how long Facebreaker, oh my god, he managed to stay alive. Really? He just waited for Sparks to go in close range and said, fine, you know what? Guess what weapon I have that works really well close range? Rocket to the face. It's within 10, or actually, it is 10. And that should be a double shotgun shot. Oh my goodness. Pop goes to Sparks.
Impressive.
That's a pair of rails.
Facebreaker's just pulling off these pixel rails.
He's gonna get that one too.
Lord.
So I think a lot of this has to do with maybe Sparks doesn't play this map enough to kind of know when he's vulnerable. And sometimes that's as important as knowing the key shots. You know, because like we've seen, like over on ZTN, for example, coming off of the red armor, you want to kind of duck over to your right, because if you're not, then when you strafe jump over to the 25s, assuming that that's the play you're going to make on ZTN, you expose your head, and you expose it to a rail shot. Well, as you can see here, Facebreaker is taking advantage of every single time that Sparks pokes his poor little head, or sorry, little ass, out into view. And let's see, Sparks can't challenge for this mega here. Let's see if he comes back in time for it. Nope, it's been picked up by Facebreaker. Sparks at least starting to land some names. Yeah, very important. And one of them was after the mega pickup. Very important. Let's go take a look at Facebreaker. Getting shot in the face. So we'll go back over to Sparks immediately. Sparks is starting to make a little bit of a comeback, though. We have seen a lot of unanswered damage in the last little bit.
I would like to see the pendulum sway a little bit, especially if Sparks just starts nailing rails like he has been. There's 2 more right there. That's going to make it 16 to 8. 8 more is going to make this work for Sparks, and he's got less than half of the round.